Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, government says $17 million in building supplies to begin arriving here by the end of this month. Cabinet approves a plan to create 1,100 post-Maria jobs, and Dominican gives confidence boost to West Indies under-19 team as they face another disappointing day at the crease. The details of the news coming up.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
First up in the news, the first consignment of building materials to help repair roofs damaged by Hurricane Maria to begin arriving here by the end of this month. Government has paid a Jamaican supplier $5 million for the first shipment, which is due to arrive here on the 29th of January. The Prime Minister's announcement about the multi-million-dollar shipment of supplies was prefaced by his mixed reaction to a suggestion by the Leader of the Opposition on procurement of building supplies for renovation of homes post-Maria.
I would like to welcome the statement made by the Leader of the Opposition. Though it's a bit late, but nonetheless, the Leader of the Opposition has started to be constructive in his engagement and utterances. Though I recognize in his statement he still wanted to be political in his expressions. But just to say to the general public that about 90% of what the Leader of the Opposition suggested or recommended in the public domain, because he has not written to me directly, he made it in the public domain, have been under consideration by the government and costed. So, for example, he suggested that the government should procure a large quantity of building materials to augment what is available at the commercial outlets. This is a matter that was under consideration by the government since late November, and it was delayed by the government because it has always been the government's expression that it does not want to compete with the private sector or displace the private sector in any way. So we're giving the private sector an opportunity to demonstrate it has the capacity to bring in the large volume of building material and roofing material needed in the country to facilitate the expeditious renovations of many of our homes in Dominica. But in our analysis and investigation, recognize that the private sector will not have the capacity as yet to bring the quantities, and therefore the government in the first week of January placed an order of about 17 million EC dollars to bring in an extensive consignment of building materials, from screws to galvanized, to assist with the covering and renovation of hundreds of homes across Dominica.
Government has 6 months within which to pay the balance of the $17 million consignment.
Some of those materials will also be used for public buildings. So there's some police stations that we have to fix. There's some health centers we have to fix. There's some public administration buildings that we have to cover and to ensure that the public servants can get back into their homes. But one can recognize one of the hold-up of the program is the unavailability of adequate supply of building materials in Dominica. People are bringing in, but before it gets there, it has been purchased. They have been purchased by the citizens of our country.
Next up in the news, government is expected to create 1,100 new jobs funded by the Citizenship by Investment program. Prime Minister Skerrit disclosed the plan at a press briefing on Wednesday, saying that it was part of his government's response to redundancies and job losses due to the impact of Hurricane Maria.
And these jobs will be for skilled and unskilled individuals, because it is the government's view, while we'll be building homes, putting roofs back on our heads, building roads, building river defenses, building schools, we should not lose sight of the human aspect of development. And therefore, we need to ensure that we can maintain the sanity and the dignity of our citizens. We will create a unit that will be responsible for managing this. This will be separate and distinct from the National Employment Program. There will be a new administration to oversee it. We've identified somebody who will coordinate this for us, and we'll put in a team of public servants to oversee its administration.
While the country's leader recognized this will be costly, he believes it is a worthwhile investment.
And in very clear reflection from the government standpoint, in consultation with various individuals, we have decided to create this 1,100 jobs, paid for by the government of Dominica, with funds from the CBI, to engage people who have been displaced. Because these people still have their mortgages. These people still have to eat. These people still have to send their children to school. And on top of that, they still have to find monies to fix their homes that have been destroyed by the hurricane. And for me, in all of the decisions we have taken in recent time, for me, this is one of the most important decisions the government has taken. So I want to thank my colleagues for approving the paper brought by the Prime Minister.
In more news now, 8 Caribbean countries selected to execute a 4-year project on youth and sexuality in the Caribbean. Andrea Louis has that report.
Flavia Cherry, Regional Chairperson of the Caribbean Association for Feminist Research Action, CAFRA, says this initiative will highlight the issues affecting a comprehensive sexuality education among young people in the region. Her remarks came at a workshop highlighting the need for the integration of a gender lens and human rights focus in journalistic practice, which the organization believes is important for shaping the mentality of youth towards gender-sensitive issues.
CAFRA is currently implementing a 4-year project called the Right Here, Right Now initiative, and it involves building the capacity of youth in 8 Caribbean countries to work on issues related to comprehensive sexuality education. We definitely will be doing a lot more work, especially in relation to the Right Here, Right Now platform. We are also hoping to continue through some other aspects of this particular training.
Youth representative from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ademola Williams, says this project is timely for the youth in the region as media play a big part in how young people view gender sensitivity and equality.
As a young person, we view the society from the gendered lens which is portrayed to us, predominantly through our social interactions and also through the media. We therefore share the conviction of social justice alongside professionals as such. That is very critical and important for gender to be considered when news features and articles are written, as it is so influential on those who see and read what is featured. One of the objectives of the workshop is to build great synergies for future engagements, and for this reason we are even more delighted for this opportunity to network with all of you, so that we could keep in touch via social media with the aim of embracing and implementing the concept of gender-sensitive reporting.
The 8 countries to benefit from the Right Here, Right Now initiative include the Dominican Republic, Haiti, St. Lucia, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Curacao, and Suriname. Reporting for Channel 5 News, I am Andrea Louis.
In more news now, investigations reveal that a fire at Loda, which took the life of one man, was caused by a candle. 29-year-old Randy Corriette of Loda died from injuries following the December 27, 2017 fire at the studio apartment of Julian Cadet. The fire and ambulance service found out about the fire only after responding to a call for an ambulance to transport someone to the hospital from Loda. Public Relations Officer of the fire department Wayne later says the 2 men fell asleep with a candle burning.
From what we gathered is that the fire started because of the candle. It was just after midnight when we received a call for an ambulance to transport somebody who sustained some burns earlier. So upon reaching up there, then the ambulance attendants realized it's a fire that had happened. So then they reported that, and then the next morning what we do, we went up there and find out the circumstances on how the fire occurred. The report is that the guy actually, he was alive in the fire and his friend had to get him out. Well, the investigation presently is still ongoing and the police are involved because once there is a death, automatically the police comes involved. So an inquest would have to be done, and so that's the work of the police.
Later is cautioning the public to be careful and not to leave burning candles unattended.
Candle should be placed not on top of a bottle. It should be placed in a flat, large plate where if it falls into that plate. Now, that plate should have some water. And that water is not to prevent the plate from bursting, but it's in case that candle reaches its climax, the water will help extinguish the flame, or if it falls into the water splashes and the flames out. Also, that candle has to be placed in a proper location, which is not on an edge, but preferably on the table, where you could look at it. It has to be observed at all times. Persons have to be, if you move from one room, do not leave the candle in the room, move with it. And also, when you're going to sleep, the candle has to be put off before you go to sleep.
In more news now, you may be aware of the impact of the temporary departure of Ross students and the 154 employees given redundancy letters. But the repercussions go much deeper. Case in point, the food vendors in Portsmouth who depended on these employees to patronize their businesses. Now that these workers are gone, making a living is much harder, but the struggle goes on, as we found out after speaking with one vendor popularly known as Ma Pope. She operated the reggae bar in Lagon for 20 years. Then Hurricane Maria happened.
I vend under by Douglas. I normally roast plantain when it have plantain. I normally roast, well, now it haven't got plantain, so I do my different thing. I roast the bakes with cheese and codfish. I barbecue my chicken. I make some potato salad. I normally go there like every other day by Douglas, because the people appreciate what I do.
And the workers at Ross really appreciate what you used to do?
Oh, the workers at Ross, well, I'm going to miss them. From Friday night, I have missed them already. Because normally, when you see it 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I'll have see all workers stand up. Somebody waiting for chicken, somebody waiting for plantain, somebody waiting for roast beef. I didn't see any of that on Friday. So I don't know. It's not going to get better. A lot of people have a little ration still, so it's getting but in another 2 months, 3 months, I not believe it's going to get better. But if everybody leave Dominica and they run and go and they leave me alone, they alone cannot build back Dominica. So for we bounce back from Hurricane David, but this hurricane is worse than Hurricane David. So we need working people to stay here for us to can bounce back. Now you even asking somebody to do it. Right now it have worked for mason, carpenter, plumbers. You asking them and you still have to beg them to come and do it because they're waiting on the handout. And the government cannot help everybody on handout.
Maudlin is one of those people who believes in hard work. Her day usually begins at 3 in the morning.
When it have kennips, I sell kennips. When it have plantain, I sell plantain. Anything I in seasons, corn, anything people have, I sell. I don't give up. That's how I maintain my children and that's how I work.
You really believe in hard work, I can see that.
Oh, anybody you see working hard there, I believe this from Granby. All Granby people is hard working people because my father lives Granby and come and work on Picard Estate, so that's how we stay here and we base here and we're working. So if we had at least 3,000 like me and my sisters in Portsmouth, I believe Portsmouth will bounce back.
And a number of surveys have been conducted here in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. These surveys have been conducted by aid organizations such as UNESCO and the World Food Programme. Some victims of Hurricane Maria say enough with the surveys. It's time to see some real assistance. Amy Abraham has captured some of that frustration while carrying out a survey for UNESCO.
The help is seriously needed for sure, and my problem is enough help isn't being given. Enough help is not being given. Some people are worried that they are taking the surveys, yes, they are answering questions, but when will the help come? You understand that's their main problem now. When will the help come? They really need the help. And is everybody going to give them the help that they're asking about?
What are the more pressing needs you find that people have?
Well, housing and food. Most of them is water, and majority I did personally is medical supplies.
Medical supplies. Why is that?
Well, for one, there was a particular young lady. She has no help for her child who is very, very ill. And she said she's going all out just to make sure that her son is comfortable as she can get. Because of the hurricane, a lot of them are suffering even more because aid isn't coming on time or to their rush hour needs, so to speak.
Are the people sometimes, do you detect a little frustration because they don't know what sort of help they're going to get and when it will come? Is that frustrating for them sometimes?
Well, it is, because I just spoke to an individual and she refused to carry out the survey because she doesn't want to carry out the survey because she doesn't know. Like she said, oh, I'm tired of doing the surveys. Everybody's just asking questions and no help is coming. And most of them, that's what they say. But at the end of it, I come out scoring. I ask them a few questions, I tame them down, and we have it going.
In sports now, it was another disappointing day at the crease for the defending champions West Indies under-19. But it was the Dominican who gave them a much-needed confidence boost. Kenny Williams reports.
Alec Athanase, a left-handed batsman, went on to post the second highest score in the Windies versus South Africa match of the ICC Under-19 World Cup, where South Africa won by 76 runs. Batting first, the South African side scored 282 for the loss of 8 wickets in 50 overs. Wandi Makwetu just missed the century mark by 1 run to finish not out on 99 and was the only batsman of note for South Africa. Set 283 for victory, West Indies were all out for 206 in 45.3 overs. Athanase showed the most resistance to finish on 76, the second highest score in that match. The closest Windies batsman to that score was Kirsten Kalisharan's 44. Herman Rolfs was a nightmare for the West Indies when he snatched 4 wickets for 33 runs. With this game result, West Indies have now lost all 2 games played and sat in 3rd position in Group A by the end of that match. New Zealand and South Africa are in the lead with 2 straight wins.
At Northeast Comprehensive, Dominica State College and Portsmouth Secondary maintained a significant dominance in the secondary school's netball championships on Tuesday.
In the first game played at Granby, NECS defeated Pierre Charles Secondary 32-2 on home court in the under-16s. The winning team's chances were significantly improved with a timely 17 out of 21 attempts from Etheline Telemac. Nayuka James contributed a well-deserved 11 from 15 tries, while Janila Phillip came in with 4 from 5. In the second match, DSC had the home team under their heel with a 51-6 win in the under-20 category. Scoring for DSC were Kyla Winston, 30 from 54 attempts, Kishma Harvey, 17 from 22, and Rachel Marshall, 4. In a losing effort for PCSS, Jonella Benoit added 5 out of 15, and Lanisha John Lewis, 1 from 7. Finally, in the under-16 match played at Portsmouth, the home team left little room for their opponent to score with a 31-3 win against Casabru Secondary. For PSS, Rebecca George, 16 from 27, Rohena Paul, 9 from 18, Jemuna Francois, 4 from 8, and Malia Tuse, 2 from 7.
M&J Covering is the producer of Designed Galvanized and Galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001-275-5003 today.
To end the news, the headlines again. Government says $17 million in building supplies to begin arriving here by the end of this month. Cabinet approves a plan to create 1,100 new post-Hurricane Maria jobs. And Dominica gives confidence boost as West Indies under-19 face another disappointing day at the crease. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel and on tdnentertainment.net. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.